Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here. Just wanted to make a quick update video showing off the 0801 BRZ with the all bronze hardware. Now, I've finally gotten all the right pieces from MXG Hardware and gotten them all installed just the way I want them. And it has really made this knife just super beautiful. The bronzes match really nicely. They accentuate each other. The clip is the same exact color as the handle. These little screws are the same color. The pivot is just ever so slightly darker, so it provides a nice contrast there. The standoffs are a little bit darker to match the pivot. That's really cool to me. And I want to talk about something cool that MXG did for me. So when I was installing these pieces, I noticed that the stock 0801 screws didn't work on the body of this knife. The 0801, as it comes in standard trim, has a bit of a more solid construction, a flatter construction right here, and there's not this chamfering going on. So the screws that MXG provides for the standard 0801 were too long, because these things meet at the center of these standoffs, and so the screws were just sticking out, and it was all loosey-goosey. So I sent him an email, and he very quickly and kindly replied and said he would be happy to exchange them for the shorter ones. Now, while I was just kind of screwing around with some of the hardware, I recognized that the longer screws that he sent for the body screws actually work perfectly to put the pocket clip on, because they provide as standard screws that are stainless steel and silver colored, and I thought that those were just going to not look perfect when every other screw on here was going to be bronze titanium. So they somehow magically fit in that space. They hold that pocket clip in perfectly. They look beautiful. I asked him if I could exchange my 4 remaining body screws and the 4 included clip screws, and he was very generous and said, yes, I will exchange those 8 screws for 6 smaller handle screws, and they just came in, and I've got them installed now, and boy oh boy, is this knife just spectacular or what. I have nothing negative to say about it at this point. The action on it is perfect. I've got it oiled and lubed beautifully. I've got everything locked into place. The action is out of this world, even on that pivot. Now, let's talk about the different pieces that I needed to get. If you're thinking about doing this to your 0801, which I would recommend, it does cost a pretty penny. I think in all, this is around $100 extra on this $240 knife. So I'm just throwing all my money down the drain doing this, but I'm having fun with it. So this is actually the pivot from the 0801. I actually discovered that worked because I ordered the hardware for the 0808 before this knife ever came out. This knife was supposed to come out in August, didn't come out till September. So I had the hardware for a long time just sitting there, and I just threw the pivot in here because I realized it had that same hexed backside, whereas the standard 0801 just has that rounded circular pivot on the back. So it fit perfectly, and I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to totally change this. And here it is, the finished product, the brainchild and of my craziness here, my addiction. So had to send back those screws. He sent these back. These screws are actually the same length as the screws that go onto the 0808. So I wanted to bring these into picture here because what you're going to need to order is the pivot for the 0808, 6 handle screws for the 0808. You're going to need to order the standoffs for the 0801 and the pocket clip for 0801 and the over travel stop screw and the lock bar insert screw of the 0801. And it will work on your BRZ, and you can turn it into a complete bronze masterpiece. So the handles, the hardware, everything is bronze to titanium now, and just a big slab of M390. So honestly, thanks again MXG Gear for making a solid product. and for having great customer service. I mean, he was very kind. I had prompt service. This was all taken care of within a week's time, and I have nothing but positive things to say about him. So thanks for watching, guys. Just going to keep this video short. Wanted to show this knife off and what it looks like. Really happy with the results. If you have one of these knives, I can definitely recommend doing this to your 0801. Definitely need to Loctite the pivot because it wants to turn a little bit on you and get loosened, so I had to throw some Loctite in there, but it seems to be working just fine. So thank you, MXG Gear, and thank you guys for watching another one of my videos. This is Dr. Frunkey saying take care.